In the opening scene, we are introduced to a kung fu master named Jue Wan, who brings a new student named Chinbo to the Shaolin Temple. He introduces the boy to another student, Jun Bao, and instructs him to brief Chinbo about the temple's code of conduct. After the master departs, Jun Bao initially addresses Chinbo as a junior. However, Chinbo, who is taller and older than him, insists on being referred to as a senior. Afterward, Jun Bao and Chinbo are seen sweeping the floor when they hear a group of students practicing kung fu techniques. The two peep through the door, and Chinbo expresses that he could outperform them if given the chance. Just then, a senior student approaches and instructs them to return to their chores. When the two boys inquire about his identity, the senior begins bullying them, asserting that he holds authority as their superior and can hit them anytime he wants. Furious over this mistreatment, Jun Bao and Chinbo decide to complain to their master, Jue Wan. To their surprise, they find him meditating under the scorching sun. Seeing this, Jun Bao pulls out a plant to create some shade for his master, but Jue Wan teaches them that everything has a life and that nature should not be harmed for personal gain. After this lesson, the two boys express their desire to learn kung fu as a means of self-defense against bullies. Their master agrees, but tells them to use it only to help others. Later on, the mischievous duo locate the same bully, encase him in a cloth, and beat him as an act of revenge. However, the senior student is able to recognize them, which leads to punishment by the headmaster. The two are made to kneel under the sun without any food for the entire day. A short while later, Jue Wan approaches them and scolds them for their actions. He pretends to punish them in front of the headmaster, but discreetly provides them with food. Following this, the two boys are assigned the task of cleaning the Luohan Hall. While working, they also practice kung fu using their brooms. As the years go by, the two grow together and become best friends. Both are extremely determined to master their kung fu skills. Their training includes breaking stone piles with their heads, mastering headstands, practicing iron palm techniques, and more. One day, they receive news that their upcoming promotion examination will be held soon. The scene then fast-forwards to the day of the exam, where the headmaster announces that only the top 4 students will advance to the Damor Hall for further study of superior martial arts techniques. The first round features a duel between Chinbo and another student. Chinbo easily wins the duel, but he is disqualified due to his excessively aggressive intent. This enrages him, and he ends up insulting the headmaster in front of everyone. In response, the headmaster begins fighting him to teach him a lesson. Jun Bao attempts to intervene but is thrown aside. During the battle, the headmaster is astonished to discover that Chinbo knows the technique of the Buddhist palms. He then commands the remaining students to form the Luohan pole. Now it is the two heroes versus several students in a completely unfair battle. Despite the odds, they manage to fend off their attackers. After a while, Jue Wan finally arrives and brings the fight to a halt, allowing his two disciples to escape. This further infuriates the headmaster, who accuses Jue Wan of taking his student's side. Later, the two boys meet their master to offer their apologies. However, Jue Wan informs them that he can no longer serve as their master and that they cannot remain at the Shaolin Temple. Before departing, he explains that he has no concerns about Jun Bao, but Chinbo's competitive nature worries him. He then hands Chinbo a book to help him find inner peace. With this, Jun Bao and Chinbo venture into the outside world, seeking their own paths in life. In the next scene, the two wander aimlessly through the streets. Having gone days without food, they approach random people for help, but no one comes to their aid. Shortly after, they encounter a group of menacing henchmen harassing an elderly shop owner for money. The old man refuses, explaining that he is already struggling financially. Ignoring his plea, the thugs assault him and forcibly take his money. At that moment, a woman named Miss Lee appears and cleverly steals the money back, returning it to the elderly man. When the criminals realize the money is missing, their leader orders his men to attack her. A fight breaks out, and to everyone's surprise, Miss Lee displays impressive martial arts skills. She manages to defeat several men, but is eventually overwhelmed by their numbers. Jun Bao and Chinbo, who have been watching from a distance, finally step in to help. Using their impressive kung fu skills, they fight off the thugs, astonishing the bystanders. However, when they notice reinforcements arriving, the trio chooses to flee. They quickly disguise themselves with fake wigs and altered clothing, allowing them to escape. Later, as they walk through the bustling streets, people suddenly clear the way. It turns out that Governor Liu Jin is passing through the town. Seeing the procession, Chinbo expresses his desire to be as rich and powerful as the governor. Miss Lee warns him, however, that Liu Jin has the heart of a viper and has taken the lives of countless people. After this, Miss Lee takes the two brothers to a restaurant for a meal. While eating, they are captivated by the melodious music played by a woman named Xiu Lin. It is revealed that Xiu Lin has been searching for her husband, who has been missing for days. With no one to support her, she earns a living by playing the Sanxian. Meanwhile, it becomes clear that Chinbo is developing feelings for Miss Lee, as he cannot stop gazing at her. Shortly afterward, Liu Jin's sister enters the restaurant with her new boyfriend, who turns out to be Xiu Lin's missing husband. Enraged by this revelation, Xiu Lin confronts the governor's sister, leading to a fierce brawl. After a prolonged fight, Xiu Lin gains the upper hand, but her husband, eager to please his wealthy new wife, strikes her on the head with a stool. This prompts Jun Bao to intervene. He fights off several of the governor's sister's bodyguards before escaping with his group. Following this incident, the four arrive at a motel and decide to stay the night. At midnight, Jun Bao and Chinbo notice a group of rebels who have stolen 300 tiles of gold from Liu Jin. The next day, the two devise a plan to earn money. They announce to the townspeople that anyone may punch them for 1 cent, and they promise to return 3 cents if they cry out in pain. A man and his sons accept the challenge, paying over 100 cents and beating them mercilessly. Despite this, the two endure the punishment without flinching. Soon after, the governor's second-in-command approaches them and demands a share of their earnings as tax. Jun Bao initially protests, but when the commander threatens them, Chinbo reluctantly hands over the money. He then humiliates himself to impress the commander. Surprisingly, the tactic works, and the commander invites him to join the royal eunuchs, where Liu Jin is recruiting new members. Chinbo eagerly accepts, while Jun Bao hesitates. In the end, Jun Bao declines, resulting in the separation of the two best friends. In the days that follow, Jun Bao begins living at the restaurant with Miss Lee, Xiu Lin, and several other rebels. A few days later, Liu Jin's goons arrive at the restaurant to collect illegal taxes, which have increased due to the governor's greed. However, Jun Bao and the rebels refuse to pay. This enrages the goons, who then launch an attack. A fierce battle ensues, but Jun Bao's group overpowers the assailants one by one. Despite this, one of the men manages to escape to alert Liu Jin. Jun Bao attempts to chase him on horseback, but his inexperience causes him to struggle. Just then, Chinbo, now a soldier in the royal army, arrives and kills the escaping man. The two friends reunite and exchange stories about their divergent lives. Before leaving, Chinbo warns Jun Bao to stay away from the rebels, as they could get him into serious trouble. The scene then cuts to a competition being held at the royal barracks. It is revealed that the participant who displays the most exceptional martial prowess will be appointed general. The contest begins, and a skilled fighter repeatedly defeats every soldier placed before him. He then challenges anyone else to a duel. Chinbo seizes the opportunity and steps forward. To everyone's surprise, he easily defeats his opponent and continues to overpower all subsequent challengers. Eventually, the competition concludes, but it is revealed that Chinbo has exceeded his rank, leading to his disqualification as a soldier. The following day, Chinbo arrives at the restaurant with alarming news. He informs Jun Bao and the rebels that Liu Jin has discovered the killings and has dispatched troops to capture them. This alarms the group, prompting them to quickly pack their belongings and abandon the restaurant. Unfortunately, the restaurant owner is not as fortunate, as he is captured and mercilessly killed by Liu Jin. Later, Chinbo, Jun Bao, and their companions decide to assassinate Liu Jin in an effort to end the conflict once and for all. Chinbo notes that most of the soldiers will be away on training duty in a couple of days, making it the perfect opportunity to carry out the plan. 2 days later, Jun Bao and Xiu Lin gather the local rebels and head toward Liu Jin's barracks. They stealthily make their way to the governor's quarters, only to be suddenly surrounded by soldiers. It is revealed that Chinbo has orchestrated a trap for both the rebels and his former best friend, proving his loyalty to Liu Jin. Hundreds of soldiers then launch a brutal assault. The rebels fight back desperately, but they are killed one by one. Amid the chaos, Chinbo takes Miss Lee into custody, intending to claim her as his partner. Meanwhile, after a prolonged and vicious fight, Junbao manages to escape the barracks with 3 surviving rebels. In the aftermath, Qinbo's loyalty deeply impresses Liu Jin, who promotes him to the rank of embroidered uniform guard lieutenant. Liu Jin then orders Qinbo to persuade Junbao to join them, or eliminate him if he refuses. Later that day, Qinbo confronts Miss Li and attempts to force himself on her. At that moment, Liu Jin enters and declares that a soldier should not risk his career for a woman. To prove his devotion, Qinbo kills Miss Li in cold blood. It is later revealed that Shaolin has also been captured and is being held at the barracks, with her execution only hours away. Shortly afterward, Junbao arrives in an attempt to rescue her. Following Liu Jin's orders, Qinbo tries to convince Junbao to join the royal barracks and enjoy wealth and power. Junbao firmly refuses and expresses his deep disappointment in Qinbo for betraying his closest friend for money. This confrontation leads to a fierce duel between the former best friends. Initially, neither can gain the upper hand due to their equal skill. Eventually, Junbao prevails and manages to free Shaolin from captivity. The two escape, but Junbao is severely injured in the process. After fleeing for some time, Shaolin brings him to a safe house and tends to his wounds. His injuries are so severe that he begins to show signs of mental instability. Nevertheless, Shaolin devotes herself day and night to his recovery, hoping he will heal. In the next scene, Qinbo subjects his soldiers to brutal kung fu training, warning that anyone who refuses will be executed immediately. At the same time, he presents Liu Jin with a report detailing the captured rebels and the massive tax revenues collected. Meanwhile, Junbao recalls Master Juewan's teachings and begins reading the book on inner peace. Gradually, his health improves. Through the book, he learns about the concept of a swirling sphere that deflects force while remaining stable, as well as the idea that stillness contains hidden movement. These realizations inspire him to develop a new martial arts style that uses softness to counter power, speed, and strength. Meanwhile, Qinbo interrogates villagers about Junbao's whereabouts, killing anyone who refuses to provide information. Upon learning this, Junbao and Shaolin resolve to confront Liu Jin and end his reign of tyranny once and for all. The scene cuts to Liu Jin walking through the streets with his sister, escorted by soldiers. Suddenly, Junbao and Shaolin ambush the procession. Shaolin engages in a fierce one-on-one battle with the governor, while Junbao takes on Liu Jin's sister and her bodyguards. The fight is intense, with both sides displaying remarkable martial skill, but ultimately, the heroes emerge victorious. Afterward, Junbao and Shaolin take Liu Jin hostage and march toward the army camp to confront Qinbo. The soldiers attempt to intervene, but the heroes hold their blades to the governor's throat, forcing them to stand down. Qinbo soon appears and taunts Junbao before attacking him, confident that he is still the superior fighter. However, Junbao now fights using an unseen style he calls Tai Chi, effortlessly deflecting every attack. As Qinbo faces defeat, he orders his soldiers to attack Junbao. Liu Jin, still held captive by Shaolin, forbids them from interfering. Enraged, Qinbo kills the governor to seize control of the troops. To his shock, the soldiers refuse to follow him, recognizing that he has betrayed their leader. They stand down, leaving Qinbo at Junbao's mercy. With no escape left, Qinbo begs for mercy, but Junbao ultimately ends his life, bringing the conflict to a close. In the final scene, Junbao and Shaolin part ways, and Junbao returns Qinbo's ashes to the Shaolin Temple. The film concludes with Junbao establishing his own school in the Wudang Mountains, where he begins his journey as a Tai Chi Master. So, what did you think of the movie? Leave it in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe for more movie recaps. See you in the next video.